Alright everybody, in this one we have a 2012 Audi A4, and the issue is that we have the ABS light on and we also have the ESC light on. So we're going to scan the vehicle, and from there we're going to start our diagnostics. Right, sorry about that. I had to take and change out the battery in my camera. Probably gonna have to change it again because this one seems to be almost dead also. So for this one, what we're gonna be doing is using the Xtool D8 Bluetooth. So my only complaint about this scan tool so far is the sealing of the tool itself. I ordered another screen for this tool. I've already replaced it once because I don't know what happened. It was in my vehicle, and all of a sudden I had spots come up all over the screen. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna change the screen at that point. Xtool wanted me to send it in and this and that, and I would have lost my tool for roughly about 3-4 weeks, and I can't go without a scan tool. I have other ones, but this one is actually up to date, so I would like to keep it. Now, what ended up happening after that is that I took and I changed the screen and everything was good, and then a rainy day, I had a little bit of water get on the front of the screen, and from there, well, now I got spots all over the screen again. So I ordered in another screen. So hopefully Xtool will be able to see this video and take and actually fix the sealing of this tool, because it's a big default of this tool. The tool itself is actually great. The software into it is good. It does what it's supposed to do up to now anyway, but the sealing of it is a no-go. So when I change the screen again, I think I'm actually going to be taking and sealing the perimeter of the tool. I'm going to put some seal around this area. I'm going to try seal this tool up as best as I can, and hopefully that'll stop this from happening. So I'm going to let this scan and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so everything is done scanning. As you can tell, we do have a lot of codes. So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is just save everything. Alright, 181.674, it's close enough. Because if you're doing diagnostic work and you're mobile or even into a shop, always take and scan the vehicle, save the codes before you touch anything. That way, if anything does come back, you can go back and say, well, that code was already there before I even started the job. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I saved it. Let's just make sure. Now we're going to exit. We're going to go into the brakes, because that is what we are here for. We're going to go read our trouble codes. Rear, you see, we have an electric parking brake control module that has an issue. Right front ABS speed sensor also has issues. The rear ABS sensor, the right rear ABS sensor has an electrical error in the circuit. Right front ABS sensor, electrical circuit error in the circuit. Left rear ABS sensor. Alright, so what is going on with this, huh? Quite a few codes on here. Alright, so what we're going to do is go on here. We're going to go on to our live data. Read data by channel. We'll go custom list. And we want our front left, rear left. Alright. We're going to go custom. Let's graph this. Let's graph this. I can only... let's go graph. Here we go. Alright. So what we're going to do now is go on to a road test, and we're going to see if we can't see anything erratic happening into a wheel. So let's go on our little road test, and I will bring you guys back because it's kind of hard for me to film and actually take and show you guys this at the same time. But there is actually a screen recorder on the Xtool. I just remembered that. So what I'm going to do is try to get you guys in here as best as I can. Let's see. Lift this guy up a little bit now. And see, like that would be not too bad, but I can't get you guys up that high. Well, you guys can still pretty much see what's going on. What I'll do is that... Oh no, you guys can see that. Alright, we're good. I wish this was in kilometers per hour and not miles per hour, but anyway. Alright, so the rear right, as you can tell, is not even moving. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we have a dead sensor, or we gotta check everything to the back first. And also, we gotta make sure, look, the front right just had an erratic signal. So, okay. Yeah, you can tell that the front right is not acting like the left at all. I'll go onto a straight road, I'll pull over, and then we'll take off. Because right now I'm turning, so the signals are not going to be the exact same, that's for sure. And the screen turned off. I think I gotta change that timing. Alright, let's see what we have onto a straight. Okay. So as we can tell, we really have nothing going on with the rear right wheel. So we're gonna stop that, and I'm gonna go and erase the codes, and we're gonna see if we have anything else that happens, because I cannot say for certain at 100% that with Audi, if there is a code for the wheel, there might actually be a issue when you're trying to drive. So, no fault codes. We're going to go into our live data again. We're going to go into our custom list. We're going to take the exact same thing. Okay, we're going to go custom. We're going to go in, we're going to graph these. Oh, I'm missing one. Rear right, custom, graph. Alright, so now we're going to try this out again. That sun is hot today. Alright, so now we're going to try this out again, and we're going to see how it goes. So obviously there was no change. Let me take and cycle the key off. Start the vehicle back up. Okay. Now I'll put it back in drive, and we'll try this out again. But I'm pretty sure we are going to be taking and verifying this rear right wheel, because the left seems to be okay so far. Alright. So, I'm gonna have to locate which wires are onto the back. Maybe if there's a connector somewhere. I'm not familiar with Audis, so we're gonna have to take and do our due diligence on this one. Might even be a bad tone ring for all we know. Tone ring might not be there, ABS sensor might not be there. I'm pretty sure if it was a tone ring, we'd have sporadic activation of the ABS, and we're not having that. So I'm thinking that it's going to end up being a sensor issue, or a wiring issue, or even a module issue on this one. So let's go back, look at a few things. Alright, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we are back at the shop. Now what I'm going to be doing is going underneath the vehicle. I'm going to go at the connector for this rear right wheel speed sensor. I'm also going to lift the vehicle up in the air a little bit in the back to give us a very good idea on what's going on. I also want to know if on one of those wires, if the ABS module is actually sending out a check voltage, because I know on Kias, as soon as you turn the key on, there would be a voltage that would be sent out on the power line to verify the integrity of the circuit, and if it didn't see that voltage come back, well, then there was an issue. So I'm gonna check and make sure that, I think Audi, I'm pretty sure all manufacturers do the exact same thing to verify a sensor, but let's take and check this out and see if we can't diagnose this fairly quickly. All right, so let's get underneath the vehicle and let's go check out some things. All right, so I went in and did a little bit of testing with you guys off screen, and it was just to confirm something. Yes, I did take out the panel on the back, but that was just to get to the wires up here in order to, so I can verify circuit integrity if you want. Okay, so before I pause you guys, I said that the system probably uses a check onto the lines in order to verify to see if the sensor itself, its integrity is good. All right, now that doesn't mean that the sensor is good, but that just means that the coil inside might be good and there might be something else going on. So what we're gonna do right now is, well, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna place you guys here so you guys can see this little scope. All right, and I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna go cycle the key off, and I want you guys to watch what's on screen. I'll explain what's on screen after I show it to you, all right? So watch what's on screen, and then I'll talk about it. Alright everybody, I just wanted to go over this wiring diagram real quick. As you can tell by looking on screen, this wiring diagram is very simple to follow. We have two wires coming out of our ABS control module, which is going to be over here, and then we have our rear right wheel speed sensor, which is the sensor that we are worried about. And we see that we have two wires coming out and leading up to it. Now, the way that I am connected right now is that I am connected inside the vehicle, let's just say this area, and I am connected down here at the connector itself. The reason I did this is because I want to test the wiring leading all the way up to the connector, making sure that the ABS module is actually able to send out the signal from here, so going this way, so going from here to here, and then from here to here, and then here, well, down here. Alright, and since I'm connected at 2 points, one inside the vehicle and one at the connector, the signal was reaching both, so I'm not worried about that. So since the signal is reaching down, the next step is to make sure that the signal is actually able to cross over. Okay, so basically make sure the signal is able to come all the way through this area right here and back up the wire leading back into the going back towards the control module. Now, if we see the signal coming back in, that means that the wiring integrity inside the sensor is good, but doesn't mean that the sensor itself is good. Okay, so that just means that there's no breaks on this area. Now, there could be an issue inside the sensor. At this point, we don't know, so we have to do a little bit further testing in order to verify that. So I just wanted to go over this wiring diagram real quick and explain what we are seeing right now on the scope. So just remember, the check signal is coming out from pin 19 onto the black wire and reaching all the way down to the connector, which means that there is no breaks into the connector at that point. You can always take and flex the wiring to make sure that there's no breaks, because don't forget, as the vehicle goes down the road, it goes up and down, and it could flex the wire and create an open circuit into the wiring. So do your due diligence, do a resistance test if you want between 2 points of the wiring, flex it and see if the resistance goes into an open circuit situation, or if it stays at a reasonable resistance level. Alright, so we're going to get back to the video now. I just wanted to go over and explain this very quickly, and if I have to, I will come back to the wiring diagram. Alright, so as you see right there, that is a 12-volt pulse sent out from the PC, from the ABS control module, in this case, not the PCM, sorry, in order to, oh, let me get that back. Alright, so we're just gonna pause and pause. There we go. Okay, we'll leave it like that because I don't know where the pause button is. But basically what we're seeing right here is a pulse from the ABS control module coming down the black wire leading to the ABS sensor, and then it goes all the way down to the ABS sensor. So basically I'm plugged in directly at the ABS sensor on this one, and I was just verifying my wire integrity from up here, alright, to down here. Okay, now make sure I'm on the black wire. I'm supposed to be. Pin number 2 is my black one, all right? So that is good. Now, the next thing I wanted to check was to make sure that I had a signal coming out. So I cannot test that with this guy unplugged. It's impossible, all right? So we're gonna have to take and plug this back in. Well, actually, I'll show you something else first. Yeah, I'll do that first. Anything to put you guys on real quick. Oh, here we go. All right. So I'll set you guys up right here just for a second, just so I can plug this guy back in. I'm gonna go on my yellow wire. Now this is gonna be on my blue channel. All right. So right now I'm on my yellow wire of my blue channel. Now I'll bring you guys back up and I'm gonna do the same test. Okay, so we'll come over, we'll switch, we'll turn it on. All right. Oh, sorry about that. I'll have to do that again. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll set you guys up again. There. Okay. You guys should be able to see that, hopefully. Alright. So, as you can see right now, the yellow trace is on my black. Okay, and the blue trace is on my yellow wire. Now, as you can tell, there was nothing there because the sensor is actually unplugged at this point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to plug the sensor back in, and we're going to see if this trace actually comes out onto the yellow wire. All right, so let me set that up and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so at this point right here, I am plugged back in. What I'm going to do now is take and cycle the key again, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so as you've seen, we have 2 blips on screen. Alright, the voltages are a lot smaller than what I would expect. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take and plug up to the left side, and we're going to verify the left side integrity, alright? And the only reason is because I want to see what happens to that voltage when the system is supposed to be working properly. Okay, now in order to see if we might have a sensor issue, all we're going to do very quickly is we're going to splice the wiring from the left hand sensor up to the right hand we're going to take the wiring from the right hand sensor and we're going to splice it to the left hand sensor, and then we're going to try this out again. It's for sure I'm going to have a left hand code, don't really care. It's to see if I actually get signal up to my module at that point. Instead of ripping everything apart, it's a very easy way to determine wiring integrity all the way up to the module. Okay, so so far we know that our module is able to send out a signal. We see that signal going through the sensor, but we don't know if that signal is actually reaching back at the PCM at this point, or the ABS control module, I should say. So what we're going to do, as I just said, is take and swap the wiring around, and we're going to see if our code disappears for our right side and our left side comes up after that. All right. So let me switch everything around, and I'll get back with everybody in a second. Alright, so it is Monday. I started this Audi on Friday. The weekend came by and I did some testing off camera. I'm going to show you guys what I did and the conclusion that I came to, and the part that is actually on the vehicle right now that has the vehicle fixed. Alright, so basically what I did was that I came up here on this black and yellow wire, which is the black and yellow for my rear right speed sensor. Now, what I did was that I verified to make sure that I had my signal coming all the way down and all the way up. So basically on the scope, I had a pulse check coming out, which I did. Okay, so I had it coming out here and I had it coming in on this yellow one. I checked up at the module and it was also at the module. So I'm like, okay, there has to be something else going on. So the next step I did was that I decided to actually come up to the connector here and actually measure the resistance. So I'm going to show you guys the resistance reading of the rear right sensor, and then I'm going to show you guys the resistance reading of the rear left sensor. Alright, there was no other way to do this because the wheels are on the vehicle. The easiest area to get to everything was actually up at the module. So I'm going to take and show you guys that. But before that, I'm going to show you guys that the codes are actually in history right now. Alright. so we could see the codes are in history. All right. So I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna read them again because my ESC light just came on. Okay, that's perfect. All right, so that's that. So I'm gonna hook up this my multimeter, and I'll be right back with everybody. All right, so I am connected into my connector for that sensor. All right. As you can tell, I'm at like 78 ohms, 98 ohms. It's going all over the place. All right, it's not the perfect situation right now, unless it's my connection, which it might be. There we go. All right, we're at 5.8 ohms. Now that is not enough for a wheel speed sensor. Okay. So what I'm gonna do real quick, I'll bring you guys around. How's it going? There it is. All right. So now I got my resistance reading. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. I hope so. Okay. So this one is at 27.38 mega ohms. All right. So just with that, I can tell you right now that there's an issue with the other sensor. The other sensor is reading 7 ohms of resistance. Now with 7 ohms of resistance, that's probably because there's too much current actually reaching back at the module, and the module does not like it. All right. Let's back up. Bring you guys over. All right, so the module probably does not like it. Okay, and it's saying no, that's too much amperage. I don't like seeing amperage on that line. I'm not supposed to see any amperage. We're gonna take and we're gonna shut down the system. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, just to prove it, is that I have the other sensor right here. Okay, now I'm gonna take out the scope again. Also, we're gonna scope that line, and we're gonna see what happens on this yellow wire right here. Okay, when I take and I plug in the new sensor and I recycle everything. Okay, what I'm thinking that we're gonna end up seeing is that the yellow line is gonna stay up at 12 volts, and that's it. All right, so I'm gonna go plug him in, and I'll be right back. All right, so 27.33 ohms on this one. The other sensor is plugged in now. So what we're gonna do is just move over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and this one also, we're gonna move over 1, 6. There we go. 25.32 mega ohms. All right, so obviously there's an issue with that other sensor, and that's it. So I'm gonna plug up the scope real quick, and we're gonna see the reading on the scope on this line right here. Okay, so give me 1 second. All right, so I have the scope here. I hope everybody will be able to see that. What I'm gonna do is hook the scope up to. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just pierce this line right here, guys. All right. We'll plug this guy back in. We'll put the cap back on first. How's that sound? There we go. Sorry about that. I was on the wrong wire. It was a black wire that had to stay up. So anyway, you can see right now we are at that 12 volt mark. All right. So, and I'll just unplug. All right. So you can see it. It's working now. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have another video onto a Kia, what car was it? A Kia Forte that had this issue, and I go in pretty good detail on that one. I'll post a link for everybody to go see that. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Post it in the comments, and if you did, well, thank you. And if you didn't, please tell me why you didn't like it, and just saying, instead of just saying it's a crappy video. Okay, what made the video crappy? I can't get better at making these videos if nobody is telling me why the video might be crappy. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.